welcome the Blue Jays Today, where today we've got some rumors. We've got the hottest rumor right now, I think personally, in the entire MLB. Ronald Acuna Jr. on the move, and the Blue Jays are a contending team. Whoa, we got to get into it, guys. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10K subscribers, so please subscribe. Help the boys out. I'm your host, Adam Title.
Yeah, and I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog. This is why. All right, this is absolutely nuts. This is not what I expected to be talking about this Friday evening, but here we are. And the best part about all of this is we're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth, everybody. We have a very special guest coming on this show, a man who is revolutionizing the atmosphere and space for baseball YouTubers, a man that we look up to and are inspired by on the daily, a man who has amassed 32,000 baseball fans, subscribers onto his channel, a man who we're very happy to be friends with. And on our show right now, Jimmy BALLCAP Sports. What is up, my dude?
Woo! How's it going, boys? It's been an interesting 24 hours. I'll just put it that way.
How are your Twitter DMs? I heard they're quite vicious right now from a lot of Braves fans.
It's a grease fire on Twitter. I think there's an Atlanta mob slowly making its way up I-95 to come and get me, and so far I've been able to remain in my bunker. But yeah, it's been an interesting 24 hours.
Yeah, so tell us, Jim. Okay, we first got to know, what did you hear? What are the words you heard from your source? We'll talk about your source in a little bit. We got to ask about that. But what did you hear exactly?
Actually, wait. Before we go back to that, could we just read off the tweet that you
said?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
What you said, and then why you said what you said.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you right now, big man, I haven't been on Twitter harassing you on that space, but I'm gonna harass you right now for being an absolute nutcase. Okay, I'm putting it out there right here. All right, you're gonna get the smoke from the boys for being crazy. So let's read off what this dude has to say here.
All right, so we have BALLCAP Sports. I'll speak for you, Jimmy. Why not? Source: the Braves are considering trading Ronald Acuna Jr. This from the same source that gave me Olsen to Atlanta a week before it went down. Okay. However, AA is receiving pushback from around the organization for obvious reasons. All right, Jimmy. So explain, who is this source? Can we ask who this source is?
You can ask who the source is, but obviously I cannot divulge that, because then otherwise I may never hear anything ever again from this individual. But I can tell you that it is somebody that is connected to the organization, has a long history with the organization, and is still a respected member in that community. And a couple, actually two respected members in that community and with the organization. And that's where some of this pushback is coming from. The two sources are kind of split. One source saying, the fans will get over it. The other source saying, absolutely not. You cannot do this trade for the reasons that we've seen on Twitter. I mean, my tweet again said the Braves are considering trading Acuña. I did not say the Braves are trading Acuña. There's a very important word in there, a C word in there that is very important, because without that, then yes, this is a completely different tweet. But the sort of runaway take from this is that the Braves are. So it's important to identify that is not what I said. I did not say that the Braves are, but they are considering, and they are. This is from the source. This is from my guy there, guys. Is that it was brought up yesterday, and this is where the tie-in is interesting, because it was brought up yesterday on High Heat with Billy Ripken and with Matt Vasgersian. And they were talking about, Matt sort of brought up the fact that he says, with no knowledge, with no information, it's just me just speculating. And he went into the contract situation that Acuña has. And my source tells me that is a thing. That is a thing. And there has been some internal problems. There is a brewing clubhouse situation there. And
involving a Ronald Acuna Jr.
Right, exactly. So the situation is
that's spicy.
All right, a little bit. We just got to soak that in a little
yeah,
bit.
whoa.
Little bit of potential drama going on in the clubhouse with Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. All right, interesting stuff there. Maybe it's because he's not necessarily the man anymore. Maybe it's because he's been a little injured. I'm just fucking speculating right now because I want to get I want to throw my hat in this ring of this cesspool of insanity that's going on right now. But okay, so there's a little bit of drama going on in the clubhouse. Then you were talking about the contract. What's wrong with the contract?
Well, it's a great deal for the Atlanta Braves, but it's not a great deal for Ronald Acuna. And whatever he said publicly is one thing, but there's heartburn there from the fact that now Austin Riley is making a ton more. Matt Olson is making a ton more. If they brought Dansby Swanson back, Dansby would be making a ton more. So there's a lot here that just isn't sitting right. So that is causing some issues. And actually, since I put this out there, somebody else reached out to me that is close to the Braves organization and says that there are some things happening behind the scenes. So this could be interesting to see how it plays out. Now, two things could happen. That pushback could become overwhelming from around the organization, and AA can't do the deal because it would be job suicide. Because if you do that trade and the fan base absolutely revolts, or you do that trade and Ronald Acuna goes and blossoms and goes back to that 40 threat guy with the Seattle Mariners or wherever he would go, and you get what you get in return, and that player isn't doing right, for all the good he's done, that's a potential career killer. So that could be an issue. And then also they could fix this with Ronald. There's a chance that some of the leaders in the clubhouse could come to him and talk him down. There's a chance that the front office could talk to him and figure something out with him. So this could all get resolved and nothing could happen. I'm going to stay close to it because my source can keep me updated. And if this thing dies, I'll let people know, and I will have to remind them that, again, I never said that it was going to happen. I said that they are considering the idea, which, again, is completely different. But the fact is, it's gotten as far as they have had conversations with other teams.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing here, man, and you're definitely right, guys, and something we need to remember before we come after Jimmy and go for him with the pitchforks and the torches there is he did put in that word considering. I think still, even still though, just saying that it's like, hey, we are considering trading a 40-40 threat guy. We are considering trading a guy who I think a lot of us baseball, quote unquote analysts here would consider to be one of the best contracts in baseball, considering his age, considering that team control, and considering the level of production and the ceiling that he could hit. Just the thought of even doing that is like, whoa. And it catches everybody off guard. And I think that really speaks to, and again, we're speculating. We don't know what the conversations are happening behind closed doors, but there clearly must be some serious or semi-serious bad blood going down to even start thinking and going down that road. This isn't just like one bad conversation or one sort of snarky comment or something. This is got to be some sort of, resentment going on between Acuña and the management to even start thinking about that.
Well, Alex Anthopoulos is all business. And if you need any evidence for that, look to what happened with Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's all business. Yeah. Freddie Freeman was Mr. Brave until he wasn't anymore. The Braves could have gotten that deal done. Just give Freddie the extra damn year. And he wouldn't do it. AA is all business. So we just saw this happen with Freddie Freeman. If anybody needs an example of, man, how could the Braves let one of their superstars, fan favorite players go? It just happened. That's the one element to this. And then also, again, to that, the replacement that they went out and got, Matt Olson, that's a pretty good replacement.
Yeah.
So
now,
what could be coming back?
I wanted to cut you off for a little bit there, Jim. Granted, different situation. Freddie Freeman was coming into free agency where Acuña signed for 4 more years with 2 more club options after that, So would it be a business decision or would it just be like more of a team chemistry decision?
I think you would have a little bit of both there. I think you would have a business decision mixed with a chemistry decision because you want to keep – they just won the World – they won the World Series last year without him. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help. They won the World Series last year without him. They did not win it this year, and he was there. I'm not saying that he was the reason why they did not win it this year, but they won the World Series without him. So AA is an all business kind of guy, and if he's and now this is just me speculating and running through different thought processes. He could be looking at it like, well, we didn't need him to win last year. If we can trade him, if Dansby Swanson does leave and we can trade him and maybe get a replacement for Dansby Swanson from somewhere, then why wouldn't I maybe do that if we just won the World Series without Ronald Acuna Jr.? So remember, obviously they're not going to trade him and not get anything significant back. I mean, I've heard some names and we're talking star power. Coming back.
Right there. I just want to take a quick pause, and I think maybe this would be a good transition to maybe look at your second tweet that you posted out there. Now that we're starting to get into that trade conversation, because you listed off 3 teams there, right? You listed off 3 separate squads that could be in the conversation. As we pull the tweet up right now, guys, I also want to take a moment and just ask the 130 people that are watching to please hit the like and the subscribe button. If you guys are watching after the fact, then please also do so. And check out Jimmy's channel, BALLCAP Sports. Great content there as well. 3 squads. Blue Jays were one of them. There was one other team in there that I was like kind of unsure as to why they were part of this. And then you also had the Seattle Mariners. Now I'm just uploading the image right now, and here we go. AA has had discussions with 3 other teams about the possible Acuña trade, all American League teams, Mariners, Orioles, Blue Jays. Again, he's receiving pushback on any deal from around the organization. All 3 teams have a mix of MLB talent and prospects that could be sent back in return. So, Jim, that's what you said, big man.
Well,
where did those names come from?
That's what I'm wondering. Same guy?
Yeah, how did we find this out?
Yeah, that was okay. That's all from the same source. That's all from the same source. So, yes, there is, again, the same source that gave me the Matt Olson trade, which, coincidentally, now not everybody, a significant group of people want to say that they all knew that the Matt Olson trade was going to happen before it went down, which is, right, exactly. No, everybody thought Freddie Freeman was coming back. When I had the Olson thing from this source, everybody thought that Freddie Freeman was still going to come back. There's no way Freddie Freeman was going to go away. Anyway, same source gave me those 3 teams, gave me some players, but the players seemed like it was kind of not definite, right? It was sort of highlights. Obviously, packages can change. That Olson trade that I received, the package did change because, in the tweet, I mistakenly put that I got it a week before. I got it several weeks before. In the time from when the deal had been discussed and I got and sort of tweeted about it, and when the deal went down, Christian Pache was still involved. A pitching prospect was still involved, but Drew Waiters had been moved out. Shea Langoliers had been moved in, and another pitching prospect was added. Obviously, I mean, hours go by, deals can change. Days go by, weeks go by, deals are going to change. So the names that I heard all seemed pretty, again, like they could chanate. So I don't want to necessarily put that out there. But I gotta know. We're talking
what was thrown out there, Jimmy.
We're talking, or at least if you can't necessarily give us the exact package here. I mean, as a baseball YouTuber yourself, without saying that you got this from your source, as Jimmy, as Jimmy BALLCAP.
As Jimmy.
Yeah. What do you think it would take to actually trade for Ronald Acuna Jr.? I haven't really wrapped my head around what this would take because I never even thought it was a possibility. I never thought that we'd be here at this moment right now having this conversation. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Where do you have this now that you've been percolating on it for a little while? What would it cost?
Well, you got to have an outfielder going back, whether it's a MLB ready outfielder or a high level prospect that's ready to play outfielder. So you have to, because you have to replace Ronald, you have to get you have to get a star back. Mm-hmm. So Toronto has stars. Toronto could include Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's name has been bantered about. Everyone says no one's going to trade Bo Bichette, and I would be inclined to say, yeah, I think I agree with that. I think it's unlikely Bo's going to be traded. But somebody of that for all of those teams, you've got to have a star going back. You've got to have major league ready talent. You probably also need to have some prospects. I mean, look at what the Soto deal just took from the Washington Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that was more prospect driven, right? Even some of the players that had some major league time under their belt, it was CJ Abrams, right? He had played a couple of weeks. He had a cup of coffee at the major league level. Mackenzie Gore had a cup of coffee at the major league level and was included in the trade. That was obviously a different situation, right? Because you're getting 2 years of Soto. He's talking about wanting to be a free agent, all that. So it's really not apples to apples when you talk about the Soto trade of Acuña. But look at the haul that it took to get Soto. It would take a haul. It would most certainly take a haul.
Sorry to cut you off, but the Blue Jays perspective, you got to assume Lord or Tio is going one way. You got to assume some other major league ready, maybe a catcher. We've been talking about catchers for quite some time. Something like that. Would that be maybe in the ballpark?
I think you have to have Lourdes. You have to have Lourdes or you have to have Lourdes Gurriel, Teoscar Hernandez, maybe one of those two. Let me swing it back to you guys. If it was Bo Bichette, for Ronald Acuna, and maybe the Blue Jays had to throw in one of those outfielders and a top 5 prospect, and then another prospect in that 10 to 15 range, would you guys, if you were Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, would you do that deal for Ronald Acuna Jr. to put him with Vladdy?
I would. I would. Adam's going to think about it for a second, but
that's a lot.
I would and I think that is what it would cost. You send a Bo Bichette, you send one of the outfielders that, we'd have to pay the same amount that Acuna is getting paid right now to even hold on to. Yeah. Then you send one of your prospects. Okay. Then you go out and you sign a shortstop in free agency. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Actually, now thinking about it, you're upgrading from Lord. And first of all, you're getting a guy for 6 years.
Yeah.
For 6 years.
For $17 million.
For a great deal.
With the potential to, and I mean, recency bias here is being he's okay. Yeah. No, he's not okay.
No, he's incredible.
It's like he's got, potential to win 3 MVPs in that time, right? It's like for real. This is a top tier talent when he is healthy and when he is at his best. He is a top 5 player in the MLB.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yes, of course, you always fucking trade for elite talent that. We'll do it all day, every day.
And we need to replace. Well, either Bo Bichette needs to get better at shortstop, or we get a new shortstop. So I think it would help out the defense if we got an upgrade there defensively. And if the bat can be somewhat similar, it doesn't matter. The bat's already, in terms of the total pool of offense, we're already getting a massive upgrade by adding Ronald Acuna Jr., not to mention the ability on the base path. So, yeah, you know what? I am coming around to it. Yes, I want to win now. And the whole conversation of, can we lock up Bo or Vlad? It doesn't become that anymore. It's, okay, we have Acuna Jr. in a great deal, literally cheaper than Jose Barrios, folks.
Yeah.
Cheaper than Jose Barrios.
And let's also think it too. There's no way that when Bo comes up, he's going to be cheaper than that.
No.
There's no way. No. Bo's going to be Bo's going to want more than that money. So it's and I think Acuna is better than Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
I think Acuna is better than Bo Bichette, and you're going to have him, for longer. So yes,
I'm smashing it.
I mean, Morosi brought it up yesterday, 2 days ago, when he was talking about Blue Jays trades, and we brought up that the Blue Jays are going to have a decision. Bo, Vladdy, if you can't sign them both, you can't let either of them walk for nothing. So there's going to be a point where the Blue Jays have to make a decision. Who do you think they're going to choose between Bo and Vladdy?
Pretty confident.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, they're going to go Vladdy. So Bo is the player that ultimately, I would love for them to be able to sign them both. That's my dream scenario, is that they would sign them both. But if they can't, because they want to be able to sign Alek Manoah, and they want to be able to, keep making additions. And Bo will ultimately, there might be a day where we have to seriously say, well, okay, Bo's going to be the guy. That's, again, Morosi brought it up yesterday. And, listen, here's the thing. These guys are plugged in, okay? Buster Olney was trying to tell us about trades last year. I feel like John Morosi is trying to tell us about stuff, but they don't want to, they don't want to go that far.
Yeah.
I feel like Morosi is trying to tell us stuff.
We gotta
shoot our shots.
Right, exactly.
Jimmy's out here fucking tweeting,
he's risking it all,
pulling the dark web out of his ass right now.
I'm just basically throwing the Molotov cocktail into my own house and running.
Literally, dude. Like yesterday, you woke up and you chose violence.
Yeah,
kind of. Well, I woke up yesterday. I think I got the information about this trade late morning, and I just sat on it because I was like, no. Like I just sat. I was like, no. And then I was talking more with my source, and it was one of those things where he kept giving me more information that was like, well, he can't be making this up. And he gave me this once before, and it was pretty spot on.
It was.
Even though everyone was saying Freddie Freeman was coming back, so I'm like, I keep talking. The info he's giving me, it was like this. Let me throw it out there. Let me let the people know about it and
see what happens.
Braves fans are never going to talk to me again. At least a portion of them. Braves fans are never going to talk to me again. But again, if this comes around to happen, then great. If it doesn't happen, which I will put myself in the camp of, I don't think that the trade will ultimately happen. This is Atlanta will burn if you trade Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's out there. I wanted to put it out there, quite frankly, never thinking it would even get this big or get to this point. But, we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, I just want to remind everyone, do not shoot the messenger. That's all Jim is. Mm-hmm. He's a messenger from the source. You can believe the source. You can not believe the source.
Right.
Regardless, his word is true. They could be talking about a trade possibility. Not that he's going to get traded. Yeah. I just want to make that very clear.
Yep.
You guys like to pick and hear what you want to hear.
Yes.
But it's a possibility that they're considering it. All right, folks.
And even though Braves fans don't appreciate it, we obviously appreciate it over here at Blue Jays land, and just from a content creation standpoint, for you to come out to say that on Twitter, and then also to come on this show, Jim. I know that you got to take off, man. It was an absolute pleasure for you to come on here and talk to us about this. Give us that firsthand information, that insider info. That's awesome, dude. Everybody, if you haven't already done so, literally take a moment, leave the stream, go hit the subscribe button, and then come on back because we are going to be talking more about this trade. But you've got to go check out Jimmy's channel. It's awesome. Any final thoughts about this deal, dude, or anything that you just want to finish off with, Jim?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm interested to see how long this firestorm lasts, if it'll calm down or pick up steam over the weekend. I don't know, but I do think that, for you guys, this is the first opportunity I've really had. Even on my channel, I talked about it for 30 seconds in a video earlier. This is where I wanted to give it more air, talk more about it, let you guys ask me questions, because on Twitter, you can't really go into the long form. Because when you do, you got to do multiple tweets, and then everybody doesn't see everything that you put out.
No one wants to read that.
Right. Nobody wants to read all that. Read? Who said there would be any reading involved? So I appreciate you guys, having me come on, talk about it, and sort of explain and talk more about it.
Amazing.
We appreciate you, Jim. Anytime, man. We'll be back, and we'll be back next week, guys. If you guys haven't seen it, we have a weekly show with Jim. Every Wednesday it comes out, so check that out and subscribe to Jim's channel, guys.
All right,
thanks,
Jim,
guys.
we're going to continue to break this down on this live stream. But for now, take care, dude. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
All right, boys. You too. See you guys.
Later. All right, guys. That was Jim from BALLCAP Sports.
Let's give him a little one of those, everybody. Shout out to you coming in and tuning in and watching this. Please go check out Jimmy's channel, and also hit us with the like and the subscribe on this stream. That would be awesome, folks. We got a lot to.
We got a lot, but yeah, first we got to shout out this.
I got to shout out a donation here as well. Benefy, thank you so much for the $5 donation.
Woo!
He says, "Love the content. How do you feel about Orelvis Martinez, Gabriel Moreno, and Tio plus cash to Atlanta for Acuña? Braves could use this catcher. Martinez replaces that shortstop." And I think that that's just a great segue for us to just kind of like really dive into the Blue Jays world of this and kind of like build together our perfect trade here. So first things first. Again, this is crazy. I did not expect Ronald Acuna Jr. to even be on the market here. I think that this is absolutely wild. And then to also have our name associated with him is kind of nuts. I mean, look, I want Ronald Acuna Jr. I saw a lot of your comments while we were talking to Jim, and I wanted to bring it up. But, obviously we had only such a short amount of time with Jim. But a lot of you saying it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Look, we ain't saying it's going to happen. We're just literally talking about what the news is, the rumors. This is what this channel's about. So, Nick, how do you feel? Do you, we talked about it. We talked about Jim. Do you want to give up? And do you think that getting Ronald Acuna Jr. will actually bring the Blue Jays to another level? I think that getting Acuna Jr. takes you from having like one potential MVP candidate to two. And I'm not going to say that it's automatically going to be like you're going to win the World Series or anything like that. But it does feel like the same equivalent for the Padres, for instance, when they went out and they got Juan Soto. It's like we have Tatis on our team already. That's our superstar. We are going to bring another one in right here. And I mean, obviously it didn't really work out for them because Tatis had some personal stuff going on right there, and they did deal with some injuries and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, walking in the next season, like if you ever get that lineup fully healthy and on the field at the same time, they're gonna mow down people. They're gonna absolutely annihilate people, right? I think that you could say the same thing about the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, just imagine that we had Acuña on this team, and when Springer's getting older, because it's going to happen, Acuña's going to be that leadoff guy. 100%. It's going to be Acuña. You're going to have Guerrero. You're going to have Springer somewhere in there. You're going to have probably one of Tio or Lord.
Right.
Maybe,
one of
honestly,
Tio or Lord.
Maybe Lord in this situation.
Kirk for right now.
Kirk in that situation as well, right? You're gonna have some of our younger prospects coming. You're gonna have Gabriel Moreno in that. I think you get younger. I think that you get just overall your ceiling gets higher. And I think that Ronald Acuna Jr. has the it factor.
I agree.
It's one of those dudes where it's like that saying right now where it's like he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Like it feels like Acuna could be that guy.
Oh yeah, and like a lot of people, and again I'll bring up the people too. I've been talking about, Bo has led the league in hits twice. Now, he is a hitting machine. He's a great hitter, for sure. But Ronald Acuna Jr., I like his approach better. I like his power better. I like his power better.
I like his runs.
I like his stolen bases better.
40 bags.
Yep. I like that a lot better. And considering that our outfield is starting to get older and they're coming up on deals, you're kind of recycling the outfield a bit. The infield was always young. You could afford to give up Bo Bichette at the shortstop position just because of how bad it has hurt our team in the last 2 to 3 years. So for me, it does feel like an upgrade, a smart retool. And economically, very smart because Bo will cost more. Than Ronald Acuna Jr.
Absolutely. And I just to segue back there to the comment that we got from Benefy, the donation. Thank you so much, by the way, man. What if we could trade for him and we don't need to give up Bo? Because that's what he was suggesting right there.
Okay, yeah. We just trade our prospects.
He was suggesting Tio. He was suggesting Moreno. So that would be, Moreno goes. Big. And he was also suggesting Orelvis Martinez. Right? So that's our 1 and 2 prospect wise. We don't give up Bo Bichette, so that's obviously a major piece right there. You can hold on to Bo Bichette, and you do need to give up Teoscar Hernandez. Would you prefer that, or would you rather give up Bo? It's like, and that's I was honestly, as I was percolating that question,
both make sense. Like, I mean, that trade feels like more pack of the punch, like in the next 2 years. Like the next 2 years is going to be epic. Like we're going to have a really thick lineup. Like now imagine it goes Acuña, Springer, Vladdy, Bo, Kirk, and then either Lord and Lord to be there. That is insanity.
Ridiculous.
That and then like Jansen or whatever, so that for me feels like it feels good right now. The long term, you will not be getting back Bo Bichette. I think that's what that means.
That's 100%.
You will not get back 100%. Bo Bichette. So he will be gone after 2 years from now. So I kind of like that, honestly, because like let's just get a good team now and then figure it out later.
See, the only thing that I don't like about that is that you fire your catching bullet on a position that we don't necessarily need. You know, like I think that for me, I want to fire that catching bullet because we are in the conversation of trading a catcher right now. I want to fire that bullet on pitching because then it's like, yeah, we got Acuña, and Acuña is amazing. I love Acuña. It's awesome. But then it's like how are we going to get the pitching? Are we going to sign the pitching?
Yeah,
that's
a good point.
What are we going to do? I feel like if you were to do a trade like that, you're really relying on Jose Barrios bounce back. No major injuries to Alek Manoah or Kevin Gausman. You know,
you have to sign like two pitchers,
and you got to. And let's face it, they're not going to be the crazy guy.
Honestly, you kind of need to. I think at that point, you need to sign a big guy like DeGrom or Verlander, because if we're talking packing a punch and trying to save money, we would have to sign one of those two guys.
Oh my! Okay,
I'm serious.
Yeah, all right. Okay, if we actually did do that,
well, we're in fantasy land already.
If we traded for Acuña,
and
signed
DeGrom,
then okay.
It's like the whole Chris Bryant and like Ketel Marte thing last year. It's like, if we just did all this,
and let's face it, guys. Probably all of this is not going to happen.
No, we're in speculative land.
Yeah, exactly. We're speculating right now on some crazy shit, but I do think that if you were to trade away those catching bullets for Acuña, you do need to acquire pitching somehow. And at that point, you've kind of left yourself to, it needs to be through free agency.
It needs to be.
Yeah,
because you would trade, you would trade your catcher, you would trade Orelvis Martinez. Those are probably the two last big bullets other than Tiedemann.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I feel like as a Toronto Blue Jays standpoint, I'm kind of getting to the point, it's kind of getting off topic, but I just want to throw it out there. Trading Tiedemann is not attractive to me unless it's trading for literally someone who could be an ace right now.
Right, like a Lopez or
something like that. But honestly, other than that, we need to keep him because he's our last young guy with potential.
True. Yeah, and obviously, as Toronto Blue Jays fans, as you guys know, we need pitching, right? And one thing about this deal, it's I think the name Acuña is really sexy, right? It's awesome. I'd get a jersey.
I have a jersey.
You would. You'd have a Braves jersey,
wow.
Right? It's but it's just, it would be so awesome to see him in Toronto, in blue, doing that with us, stealing big, smacking home runs. It's him and Vladdy up there for MVP. That would be awesome, right? But at the end of the day, we do need to think about what our team is. We already have the number one offense. We've had it for 2 years now.
Yeah.
We have not succeeded, right? I do think that Acuña pushes us even more over the edge.
Yeah.
It's another tier, it's another level, it's another just element.
And I think it creates more longevity for our offense too.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about.
Absolutely, right? I mean, for me, that contract is just so nice.
It's so nice.
6 years of potentially, MVP caliber player,
exactly.
900 OPS guy with really good stuff, right? So just that is awesome, but do we need it? And it always comes down to that. Do we need it? Now, if we were to do it to stop Seattle from doing it, I'm all about that.
Or Baltimore. Doesn't matter.
Baltimore.
They were in the mix. Jim said they were in there.
Exactly. That's I don't want either of those guys to get them.
No.
But do we need it?
No, we don't need it. Again, like you said, there are probably many more avenues that we could go down to continue our offense at the level it is for the next 5 years. For sure. Signing guys, getting prospects, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be good. And when you have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette in your team, it's going to be a really good team. We definitely need pitching, like Nick just said. That's the avenue we got to be focusing on. Now, this is really exciting and cool. And if it happens, I'm obviously not going to be butthurt about it.
No, I'll be very excited.
I will be very happy.
Very excited.
But I'd rather see one of those guys like Teo Lord or Moreno or another prospect go for a starting pitching like Lopez.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
is it.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I think this is all. I remember when we were talking about the Juan Soto deal and we were talking about the Jose Barrios deal and we were talking about the Luis Castillo deal. We all undervalued it. When we were talking about the trades, we all undervalued it. Acuña's got 6 years left. Acuña is a fan favorite. Acuña has, one of the best ceilings, one of the best contracts in baseball, right? Acuña, if you were to trade him and you were to not get the absolute bag, that's like literally firing worthy.
Like Jim said,
lose your job over that decision, right? So I honestly believe, even though we're talking about, like maybe Bo and like a prospect could do it, probably not.
Because there will be other teams.
Because there's going to be other teams, and it's also just a business standpoint, right? Like, you got to think, if you're AA right here, people are going to be coming for my ass and questioning this decision for a decade. Like, this is going to be one of those things where if it doesn't work out, people are going to be making, videos about it, talking about how fucking stupid I am.
Like, why would you trade that man? And again, while the speculation is, I mean, when you look at it from a decade perspective and he goes to blow up on the Toronto Blue Jays or Seattle Mariners, it looks stupid. But what do you think about that whole clubhouse thing? About the whole vibe of him not meshing? Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting... That could be a factor.
Absolutely, right? And that's just something that we don't know. We're not privy. We're not behind those doors. So I can't really say, like, exactly how bad it is. But I'll tell you this right now. If I was the general manager of the Atlanta Braves, there's no way I consider trading Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't consider that. I don't ever think about that. The only way that I consider trading him is if it's for, Guerrero, Bichette, Manoah, Moreno. Like, it's just so stupid that it's like, okay.
If I don't do this, people will yell at me.
Exactly. But realistically, I never, ever think about it. So just from that standpoint, that's me personally, so I can't speak for AA, but putting myself in those shoes, it's got to be bad if you are considering it. It has to be.
Why would you? Because would Ross Atkins ever consider trading Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? No.
Right? He'd be the dumbest idiot ever.
Yeah.
Right? We'd be on here right now saying how stupid you are.
We're like, don't you do it.
So the only way that that's possible, right, is if there is stuff happening behind closed doors that we're not privy to, and maybe it is really bad. Maybe this is something that's been going on for several seasons now. Maybe that's why he wasn't at the top of his game last year. Because
he was dealing with all those issues.
Exactly, right. It's tough to be at the top of your game when you don't like where you're playing.
Well, I thought about this too. I mean, Jimmy made a great point. All of his teammates are getting great deals. They're getting very equivalent deals to what he's getting, and he's one of the best players, if not the best player on that Atlanta Braves team.
100%.
So it's like, well, F me, right? Like, well, if you don't think I'm the best player, mentally it's got to seep in and be like, well, I don't have to go out and put 100%.
Absolutely, dude. Austin Riley just got paid more than double than he did.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
More.
It's like, all of these guys, right? So it's like from that standpoint, and at the end of the day, he did this to himself. He can really only blame himself. Like, he did not need to sign that deal. I think it was the stupidest thing ever. But you did. But I can understand how you could feel a sense of resentment there, being like, wow, they really took me through a fast one. They really pulled the wool over my eyes on that one, and they fucked me.
And every media outlet, including ourselves, we have said, like, wow, like, that is a frigging steal. Like, if I'm Acuña, I'd be like, what am I thinking? Like, I guarantee he knows that, like, the contract is not good. Obviously, we've been talking about it.
100%.
So it sucks. I mean, well, any final thoughts on the whole Acuña thing?
I think it's nuts. I think that we're going to be covering it more if more information comes out. I'm really excited to see where this goes, where this develops. Shout out once again to Jimmy BALLCAP Sports for coming on here and giving us that firsthand info. I hope for his sake something does come out.
Me too, man. So
we can stop getting annihilated on Twitter.
Even just like clubs asking about Acuña, or something like that. I feel bad for this man. Like, look, we're both YouTubers, and sometimes we say things, you guys come at us, but it's all for fun.
For sure.
So I don't know. Go, Jimmy, go.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button.
Woo!
So much MLB and baseball news comes out on the daily. I promise you will not regret it, guys. To everybody who has subscribed already, thanks so much, guys. You guys got to start commenting down below. What should we do for our 10,000 subscriber stream? It'll be fun.
Well, this one isn't a big, just little small breaking news. Atlanta Braves signs Nick Martinez to an $875,000 deal.
Hey, there you go.
Good work, AA. Maybe start thinking about trading Acuña. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And
go Jays, go!